Hello, we want to play again. You are now going to be immersed into Horrorfest, the month-long tribute to all things that go bump in the night. Things that chill. Things that make you scream. And above all else, things that reach into the darkest recesses of your mind. So prepare and live or die. Make your choice.
Gentlemen, welcome to the 4th annual Horrorfest here on the Nerd Rage Renegades podcast. We have Chief with me. Chief, welcome.
How's it going, everybody?
And returning, once again, one of our favorite guests of all time from Cinemassacre, James Rolfe. James, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you.
You know, it's real interesting. You just laid out the first video for Son of Monster Madness.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I did.
Gargoyles, the 1974 TV movie, which Chief and I did a whole episode on about 2 months ago of this show. On Gargoyles.
Yeah, we're pretty familiar with it. Yeah, and I watched your video today, and it was great, by the way. But yeah, that movie is. I saw it too as a kid, and I hadn't seen it probably for 30 years or something. Mm-hmm. And I saw it on YouTube, and I was like, oh man, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I watched it a while back, and then we did the episode, and then I saw that was the first video for Son of Monster Madness. So, awesome.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, that was a movie I kind of forgot about for a long time. I mean, I think for a long time you couldn't really see it anywhere. It was kind of obscure. But it was televised, so lots of people saw it when it was on TV. And they would rerun it every now and then, I guess. Yeah, because I saw it in the 80s sometime, so.
Yeah, that's when I saw it, and I remember they showed it. I think it was on like the local Channel 4 or something. It was what brought. I lived in Indiana, so we had the local channel was Channel 4, and I specifically remember seeing it on that channel as a kid in the 80s, and then I hadn't seen it again forever, and then it just seems to be popping up now. Recently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were talking with that movie. We thought it was funny when they're in the old man's barn and the fire breaks out and everything. It's like, well, do we save these old devil bones, or do we save the old man? Save the devil bones. Don't worry about the old man. Just
grab
run.
the devil's head.
Yeah, like you knew that old man. He wasn't gonna last. Like he's just there for that. To set it up.
What struck me as funny about the old man is he wears that bright red hat, and it's almost like he's like this weird Donald Trump cultist that lives in the desert. It's like the Make America Great Again man that has the gargoyle skeleton. And the other part was, did you notice at one point the head gargoyle smack his gargoyle wife on the ass as she leaves the room?
No, I do not remember.
when they're in. It's towards the end of the movie when he has the girl kidnapped in the cave.
Okay.
And the gargoyle wife comes into the cave room where they're at and kind of snarls at the woman, and he shushes her like, woman, no, go away. And as she's walking away, the head gargoyle smacks the other gargoyle on the ass and then like kind of smiles to himself. And it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And it is weird. If you're not, it would go right by you maybe and you missed it. I don't know. It's so fast. But, I mean, it is just this bizarre little thing they added to where he like slaps her. I'm like, yeah, like it smacks her on the ass, and it's so funny.
Wow. I don't know if I ever watch that again.
Maybe Spin can find it and just send you a clip of it, just that little clip.
That's what I'm good at, is finding stuff and sending it to people. So, James, you, of course, for years on Cinemassacre, you've had Monster Madness, Son of Monster Madness, horror reviews all the time. As a filmmaker, I really wanted your opinion on, you always talk about how you love the old Universal monster movies, the Hammer movies. What, in your opinion, makes a good horror film? Because they seem to be they're a dime a dozen these days. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think now you either gotta either go full cliche and just do something like that, or do a completely new idea, which we're seeing a lot of now. I think every now and then there's some, like not too much, but every now and then there's like a unique idea that does something, that's scary and it's new. We see more and more horror movies about social media and stuff. So I think that's kind of the way to go. Like kind of just do something that is about now, or do something that was about, like cliche and tradition, like old horror stuff.
Have you ever seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
No.
So it's got oh god, what's his name? He's in everything. He was the robot in Rebel 1. Dang, his name's escaping me. Redhead guy. But basically,
the guy from Firefly.
The guy from Firefly. Yeah, the guy from Firefly.
Okay.
So basically, I
don't know his name either.
The movie takes the horror genre of, say, like Wrong Turn, or those type of movies, the hillbillies in the woods attacking the college kids,
mm-hmm.
and flips it on the end where the hillbillies are the good guys, but the college kids think the hillbillies are trying to kill them when they're not. So the college kids are trying to kill the hillbillies, but end up killing themselves in weird, funny ways. Like one runs at one of the hillbillies he's just chipping wood off his property, and he steps out of the way, not even noticing. The college kid goes right into the wood chipper, and he's like, "Oh my God, these teenagers are killing themselves on my property." So it takes that horror genre and kind of flips it, and that's one of those modern movies. It's been out for a few years that I think has really been, as you said, doing something different. Because as you said, with the social media, there's like unfollowed or friend request, and I don't know if ghosts in Facebook are scary, but I guess some people really enjoy it. But as you said, there's so many that are doing good things nowadays with horror films. I mean, Chief and I are always keeping up on that. Chief, what are some of your favorite horror films?
I was going to say, I'm not sure that. Do you even think that you could take one of the classic monsters from like Universal and even make a scary horror film with it these days? Are people going to be scared of it? Yeah. Do you think people would be even scared? Because Tom Cruise is trying it with this Mummy Universal thing, and I don't think they're going to do it right. They're not going to do it justice. It seems like it's going to just be silly.
Yeah, I mean, that's something else. It's just a movie that it tried to be what every single other movie is trying to do, but not in like a self-aware kind of way. It was just like, hey, like what's popular? Let's just do a little of that and a little of this, and that's all that movie was. Like it wasn't even like even the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie was fun. It was just like it didn't take itself serious.
I was going to say, it seemed like this was just as goofy as the Brendan Fraser one, but they took it really seriously. It was like, are you kidding me? And I had high hopes for it, actually, when they announced that they were going to do it. I thought, well, I didn't know what they were going to do with it. And I thought, wow, they're going to really make this a cohesive thing with all the Universal monsters. Yeah. And they got Tom Cruise, this huge star, to be in it. And then it turned out to be every bit as goofy as all the Mummy movies before it, but taken super seriously, like not even any humor in it, just completely deadpan serious ridiculousness, and not even that much different. Even the big sand face from the other Mummy, it's like, I can't believe they're doing this. It's the same movie.
Everything. Like there's so many directions that tries to go, but like if they would have picked one thing, like you ever see the Marvel comics that had all the monsters in it before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Had the living mummy and Tomb of Dracula.
Tomb of
like all that
Dracula,
kind of stuff.
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, that 70s Marvel horror era was great. Just with when you had Tomb of Dracula and Frankenstein and like all the monsters.
Yeah, like maybe if Universal teamed up with Marvel Studios and somehow, like, that would be the only way to do it. Because, like, one thing, it would be like, okay, well, this is not scary, but this is like the superhero direction. Like, let's make the monsters into superheroes and do this whole thing. Then, like, you could do that, and then Marvel's the only one. Marvel and Disney are the only studios that can do this fast enough. Because, like, the next one's going to be The Bride, apparently, in 2019. So we already have to wait a couple years because not everybody is able to, like, do them that fast, like, as Marvel. So they could do it that way. But then to do it scary, it's like, just go full horror then. Like the closest the new Mummy came to being scary, there's, like, one scene in, like, an alley where Tom Cruise is being stalked, and you're like, oh, they're trying to do a horror movie now all of a sudden. And then it goes back now, and then he's being attacked by rats and then zombies and stuff. I think the Mummy could be scary if you just took the idea of just a walking mummy, more decrepit and scary looking than, the old Karras mummy, like, wrapped, I'm trying to think though of, like, what's the closest example of, like, a newer scary horror movie, but that's a monster. Because the only ones I think of are like it worked great as comedy in Monster Squad. Like, that's kind of like one of the greatest representations of those monsters in our lifetime, I think, on the screen.
Well, because Universal, what they did, like, a few years back, they had the Benicio del Toro Wolfman.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried to do I think Universal did Dracula Untold.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they've been trying to update their classic monsters, and it just hasn't been fruitful for them as much as I think they would have hoped. So and now with this dark universe, and that's that's one of the things I'm wondering is, they're going right to Bride. They're going to go right to Bride, which means we're probably going to get, in my mind, we're going to have a lot of backstory on how Frankenstein, the monster, originally was created before we even get to the Bride.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one I'm waiting for is Creature from the Black Lagoon, because they are going to redo that one as well.
Yeah, that one I've been hearing about for, like, 10 years or so. I've been hearing things about a Creature reboot. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it's so long term now too. Like, they like, you wish they would have started this like 10 years ago instead of. It's so ironic that, like, Universal invented the whole crossover thing, like, this shared universe thing, and then it took all these decades for Marvel to finally do it, and now everybody else is doing it.
And some doing it right, because, like, the Godzilla King Kong, that one has actually been working out pretty well. And of course, in my opinion, I thought the latest King Kong was fantastic, Kong of Skull Island.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, I really liked that one. And after it's over, it does get you hyped up. Like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see him get Godzilla and Kong together again finally.
And then
that
mural.
reveal, the mural at the end, the reveal of all of them, that was like, oh wow, that has potential to be something really cool.
Like, yes, do this.
Yeah, do that next. Let's put Ghidorah in it. Come on.
Ghidorah. I mean, and that's I'm waiting on that one. And I, like I've always said, anything John Goodman gets in lately, anything John Goodman's in has usually been pretty good. I mean, even the latest Cloverfield movie that he was in, while not a horror, more of a suspense, that movie was. I loved it because I thought his performance was just fantastic in it.
Yeah, he is always good. Like, he is just always amazing.
He's come a long way from King Ralph.
What I'd like to see is actually a straight up horror movie. It's always like some kind of mix of genres of, like, horror and action or a horror comedy or something like that. And I would like to see them do it. One of the Universal monsters is just a straight up solid horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was why I was wondering, like, does it always have to be mixed with can't we just get a hard horror movie out of one of these companies with and not a slasher, not a Facebook horror movie, but like one of the straight up classic monsters in a straight up horror movie? You don't see that at all anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that
Like
Wolfman one wasn't bad.
yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, it was like